everyone, it's me. So the last 2 days have been like hell. And I'm not trying to seem, because I know people have said before that I seem cold or whatever, and they're like, I don't care. And I don't know, I'm just not good at usually showing emotions, and when I do, I like to do it privately because I really get ugly. But I don't know if you can tell in the background, I'm at the hospital and I'm in Albuquerque. Yesterday we went to out of town to do grocery shopping and supplies and stuff, and Josh was fine. See, we did the last video we did it like Sunday, and anyways, you know where you do the video to pop up in a couple days? I can't remember the word right now. Scheduled, something like that. Okay, so Josh was feeling fine. We were, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he starts cramping and like having chest pains, having trouble breathing and throwing up and cold sweats. And we rushed him to the closest emergency room. And this COVID crap, I mean, I think it's real, I don't know. But they don't allow you in the emergency room. So me and his mother were waiting in the car while he was being looked at. And they had to rush him out to Albuquerque. And we went back home and slept because we weren't allowed to be here until like visiting hours, and then only one person at a time, and only certain amounts of time, and apparently you can only visit once, and they didn't tell us that this morning because we were only in there like maybe 15 minutes before they kicked us out. Like, she went first and then I went, and they had more tests to run, so they made us leave. And we were like, okay. And then they have like from 1 to 3 is quiet time. So why have visiting hours from 8 to 5 if you're gonna kick them out from 1 to 3? And then tell them they can't come back. But luckily she was able to get in there again to see him tonight. And we're staying in Albuquerque, and I hate Albuquerque. I know I lived here for like 6 years, but I hate it so much. It gets me so paranoid. And it doesn't help that he's in the hospital, and just prayers that all the tests go good tomorrow, because then he can be sent home. All the medications they're giving him are working. His pancreas was inflamed. I think it's lipoids or lipids or something like that. I can't see the paperwork until he's dismissed. They're like, it's so hard with this COVID stuff. They don't tell you stuff, and they just, yeah. It's so hard not being in there with him. And Lola is poor Lola. She was crying when we got home last night without him. And I felt so bad for her because she doesn't understand, and she just looked so despondent, and she was wrapped up in his blanket. She wrapped herself up in his blanket on his side of the bed, and she just looked so sad all night, and it was just so horrible because I know how much she loves him. And it's really hard for me because I love him so much, and it just sucks. And I'm just like, and then my whole fear of not being home and things falling apart, but luckily we were able to find a great team of people to help out with my mom and Larry and the dogs, and I'm so grateful for that. And even my ex-mother-in-law, okay, so Pablo has 2 moms. His birth mother and his adopted mother, and his birth mother and I are still very close. And she is so great, and she got us a room here at family right, because she works at the motel, and I'm just so thankful. She just took care of everything. She made the reservation, and you know, I'm so grateful for her too. And I'm amazed at all these people who just, you know, jumped up to take help, you know, and like, I'm laughing because this morning, you know, my fear of leaving and things falling apart. Well, one of the things I was afraid of, like, because my mom has a little tiny chihuahua, and one of these days I'm going to go in there and introduce you to her chihuahua and her cat, maybe. Her cat likes to hide. She's like 18 years old. And her little bitty chihuahua, and you know, Junior and Lola, and I didn't know how I knew Lola would be fine. Lola's a great dog. Junior, I don't know. He's a great dog, but he's also kind of got an attitude problem sometimes, and he's a little possessive. But he's great with that puppy. You know, he acted afraid at first, and he does get a little possessive when Josh holds the puppy. He looks like he wants to eat the puppy, so, you know, like, but then when the puppy's on the ground, he's fine with it. So I didn't know how Junior was going to react to my mom's dog. And because whenever they see each other through the fence, like, Junior looks like he wants to eat him. And oh my God, my heart skipped a beat this morning when my mom told me that the person who was helping with her took the dog out, but she took him through the main house into the big backyard with the dogs, and I guess they played for like 20 minutes and everything was fine. And I'm like, oh, thank God, because that could have ended a different way, and I don't know how that would have I don't know how I could have dealt with that, because I just don't know if, like, my mom's good dog got killed or something, how I could have even lived with that. So I laugh because it's funny. It was one of my biggest fears, is, you know, the whole dog thing. I mean, we're not gonna, like, all of a sudden take down the fence and, like, let them share a yard, because I still don't know, but it is nice to know that if it ever accidentally happens, hopefully it will be okay. And I'm praying that tomorrow the test go well and he can go home. I just don't know. I hate this because I don't like to be one of those people who make someone choose things, but I made him choose. And, you know, he said he chooses me, and honestly, before he met me, he was a heavy drinker, and he's cut down, and he goes days without drinking sometimes now, and he's not like my ex at all, where he gets violent or mean or drives. He doesn't drive when he drinks. He doesn't get mean or evil. He pays for all his own stuff. Not like my ex, you know. And he didn't get sloppy or mean or anything like that. So it wasn't like a big issue to me necessarily, besides the health thing. But, you know, since we've been together, it's gotten better. But obviously not better enough. It's cold turkey time. And, you know, and I told him if we have to eat chicken breast and broccoli with no butter for the rest of our lives, I will do it with him. Because he may be diabetic, his blood sugar was through the roof, whatever the pancreas, lipoids or something, through the roof, his white blood cell count through the roof, You know, like the lipoid thing. I'll look up the word, or I know what it is. It's supposed to be like 200, and it was like 1900. So if he's not diabetic, he's pre-diabetic as well, because his blood sugar was like 800 or something. I need to see the paperwork. And I know when they release him, they'll give him the paperwork, and I'll be able to read it and understand it better. And, like, it just... Wouldn't that be weird if he was diabetic and I wasn't? But I am willing to change my lifestyle and never drink again if that's what it takes. So, you know, I guess we'll see what these tests say, and we'll know where to go from there. And just pray for the best, please, because I can't lose him. He's like the most wonderful, sweetest, sincere, humble fucking man ever I've met. I mean, I didn't know men like him existed. It's all those things that people tell you a man should be, that's kind of what he is. And I really honestly didn't think men like him existed. So yeah. And as soon as he gets home, or I know more, I'll let you guys know. So look out for the normal people. Laters.